Ooh, what's this? A shiny new fork. What was that? Must have been nothing. Ooh, let's take a good look at this. There it was again. Hello and welcome to Caesar's Snack Sandwich. Today we're back on Ethereum taking a look at YFII or DFI.Money or DFI.Money. It's a fork of Yearn.Finance. Now, at first I had some mixed feelings about it. I felt kind of like this. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure anybody who looks at these Likey, Nike, Hikey, or whatever these brands are will kind of have the same kind of feeling that I had. And also the same feeling you have when you look at these Adidas, Adidas, Dudidos, Didados, and all these other brands as well. Like, it just makes you feel bad, right? Like, you obviously don't want to buy these. You feel like you're getting ripped off. So when I saw the YFII and the YFII logo, I felt the same reaction of like disgust and like, what's wrong with this? Like, they can't even, like, they just changed the color and rotate it. So obvious, right? And then I started thinking about this is a copy of one of my textbooks from linguistics learning. And if you go to the very back of this book, you will see the citations, and there are pages and pages and pages and pages and pages of citations. And it's all done academically. Obviously, he's not plagiarizing. It's published by Oxford. I believe Oxford. Anyhow. Yeah, Oxford. So he's not publishing, or he's not plagiarizing other people. He's just using what they did, their ideas, in order to improve his own ideas. And this is kind of the key thing about cryptocurrencies that makes them so wonderful, is that they are open source, and the innovation is what keeps teams ahead of the pack. It's not about, like patents protecting you. You can kind of get lazy once you get ahead of everybody else. No, if you slow down in a cryptocurrency project, someone takes your lunch. It's as simple as that. And that's kind of what makes cryptocurrencies growing so fast, so quickly. So I kind of tried my best to look at YFII through this lens. And these are some of the things I found. So first I'm going to take a look at CoinGecko. And if we take a look at the YFII token, we see some history of it. So it's got a 40,000 cap, just like Yearn.Finance. So they copied that well enough, maximum supply of 40,000. If you look at these, the sentiment, the voting sentiment, I don't really put a lot of, backing in this, but it does make people are clicking that they like it and that they don't like it. And I'm not going to tell you what I clicked, but anyhow, people are clicking this. And, it's quite sentiment. People like it. They've got bags of this, right? Now, if we look at the last 24 hours, the price action's gone down, but not too bad. Like from 1,600, and it's down around 1,500. So it's not terribly bad. And let's zoom out to like the big picture. So if we zoom all the way out to 90 days, we see all the way back to inception. I guess this is probably pretty close to inception. Started at $100, and it had its, the Gartner hype cycle where it blasts up and goes down and kind of finds its price action, and now it's floating around in a relative price discovery, like a pretty stable price discovery. So I think that people might look at this and say, oh, this looks like a pretty safe bet, especially if you put it side by side with, the actual Yearn.Finance. Let's take a look at that. So here's the Yearn.Finance token. If we scroll down to the chart, and I've got it set to 90 days already, you'll see that the graph looks pretty comparable. Like it's not too bad now. They've woken up a little bit here in the end, but people might look at this and be like, oh, it's time for them to wake up. Like they are literally copying them. If they don't really know, or if they know, they'll probably feel that maybe it's time for YFII to do this as well, right? So now it is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. There are people trading this token, and they most willingly would sell or buy more, I guess. But some things that stand out to me. If we go down to DeFi, back to the YFII token, and we go down to, where is it, up at the top, markets. This is one of the things that you tend to look at. And when I see this, it kind of is it's not a red flag completely, but it's a little bit of a warning, maybe a yellow flag, something that I gotta look at. If you look at the exchanges, don't worry too much about like the volume and stuff like that, but just look at where it is. It's only on centralized exchanges. If you go down, the first one, the 18th exchange is Balancer, and then Uniswap. So what this means to me, now I could be wrong, I could be completely off on this, but what this means to me is people who know cryptocurrency are not trading this token. People on Binance who may also know cryptocurrencies, but they are trading it on Binance and all these other centralized exchanges. So this kind of sends a little bit of a warning to me. Now we look at the Yearn.Finance, go to markets. Again, it's heavily on Binance, but Uniswap's number 10 or number 9. So there's a big amount of people buying it on Uniswap. So this kind of helps me to feel a little bit safer. Okay, so that's kind of just a quick look at the token. What is it doing? It's very comparable to the Yearn.Finance. So let's take a look at the actual site and see if it is comparable. So we open up the site, and let's open up Yearn.2 and take a quick look at what we see when we first enter. So as you can see, the sites look drastically different, right? And I'm not going to go through all the different products inside Yearn.Finance. This is a topic for another video, where you can check this video here that pretty much tells you all of these things. So first of all, what are we looking for? We know it's a fork. This is undoubtedly, they copied Yearn.Finance, and now they are using the code. But what's the key thing? What do we need to see in order for me to believe that this is worth looking at? And what it is I need to see innovation. I need to see they took what they got from Yearn and they made it better. So the first thing I do see here is this ad right in my face. This is a source of revenue. I'm not exactly sure who's getting the revenue. I assume it's the YFII token holders, but I'm not sure. So, and that stands out to me. Now, the other thing that stands out to me is the Chinese. Now, I'm pretty familiar with Chinese, and I can see that this is simplified Chinese. So it's mainland Chinese. And I know that mainland Chinese, like patent laws and copyright laws, are very, very, very liberal. You can copy things almost completely as long as you don't exactly copy. So that, this is, they have no squalms or no. It's not a faux pas for them to copy Yearn.Finance. So, but that's okay. I don't think it's a terrible thing. So let's look at some of these languages. They can English, Chinese, Japanese, Korean, and Thai. So they have these languages that you could choose from. This is something that you can't see at Yearn. So again, there's another improvement. I could switch my user interface language, which is nice, right? They have these things here that you can click. And when you click them, you go to these, like here. So when you click those, you go to the, what is this called? Just the documents, or the user manual, so to speak. And again, it's got Chinese and English, and it's pretty well done. Like, I can't get through everything right now because there's a lot of pictures and a lot of explanation. So they took time to build out this docs and explain how to use the platform to the users. And again, this is something that Yearn does not do and does not have to this extent. They do have a docs page, but it's not laid out quite as well as this. So there's another point for YFII. Now let's go down to some of these options, right? What do they got here? They've got these liquidity pools, and these appear to be Uniswap pools, but they've got this iETH, which is not. So I'm not exactly sure where this is going. Like this, I actually tried to find out a lot of information about this and couldn't. So I'm going to infer a few things, okay? I do know that this iETH is their own token. And then they want you to swap iETH with USDC or USDT. So now this could be, I guess it looks like you can supply, WETH. And why is it wrapped ETH? I guess this is their own form of wrapped ETH. Anyhow, so they've got these liquidity looking pools, but I can't seem to find anywhere where you can actually do a swap. Okay, so they've got these 4 things. Now, again, I could go through the docs and stuff like that, but I don't want to. So, and you'll see why. And then I come down here and we have YFII stake. Now this is the homepage, okay? YFII stake. And here it seems to be like I can take my YFI tokens, I can stake them in here and gain 6.66%. Now that's pretty ironic. And this seems to be a fair amount in here. Like, what is this? 1,700,000. I guess this is dollars. Why is there so many decimal places on these dollars? Because it is value. And this is how many tokens are staked. So people have staked their tokens in here and are earning. So that's my point about, like, the token is being traded. So that's good, right? Then they have these vaults. And they have an ETH vault. And you see, this is where I came up with the ETH. You can stake ETH and you get an IWETH. And that's why I assumed that this iETH was from them, right? And from the vault, their vault token key. Now they all have single asset vaults here, which which I think Yearn.Finance is trying to branch away from, right? And then down here they do have a Y curve vault as well. Okay, so it's looking pretty good from the cover, right? And if we go to vault, then it basically just shows the same thing, but all on one page, and it takes away the other things. Now if we swing over to stake again, and there's a nice little, like, click here and you can learn everything you need to know. And when you click it, it takes you to another different docs page, which is different than this one that I had seen before, right? So they've built out these doc pages that explain things, and you can go through them and read them and stuff like that. But let's keep going, okay? And then they have these farms, which is like, you can deposit your YFI in here and earn some MIFI tokens. So they're allowing people to earn more, but as you can see, the APY is 0 and 0. So these seem to be dead farms that are just sitting there still. Okay, and then down at the bottom you have a whole bunch of things you can click, and I've decided to click through some of them. And the first one I wanted to look through was this audit. So the audit seems to be, they've got 4 audits done, 2 on the version 2. And I clicked into these and I looked through, and I'm not capable of really understanding these very well, but audits look good, right? And so easy to access them and see them and read them if I needed to. So the audits are there, which is another good point for it, right? And I also clicked through these stats. Now the stats is something I do understand better. Now, when you open up their stats page, like stats, you see the first one at the top here, which seems to have liquidity in Volt, $600,000. It seems to be like YUSD, or maybe it's just a Y curve, and they copied the Yearn.Finance, which would probably mean that it was this Volt here, down here at the bottom, this one, I assume. And then we have the balancer pool, and we have a whole bunch of vaults, right? So, but let's compare one of them, one of the older ones. So we have this Tether USD. It claims to be making 3.65%, and there's like 40,000 USD Tether in there. And if we go to the Yearn one and we go to the USD Tether, it's making about 5%, and there is 1 million, or actually 1.5 million inside there. And it's using the dForce USDT, and this is using the Force token the Force token Tether USD. It's kind of appears to me to be the same. Like I said, I don't want to read through all these because you'll find out why in a few minutes here. So they seem to have everything organized pretty well. It's clearly, it has a resemblance. This has been changed since the time when they forked, and it used to look a little more like this. So the fork was a fork. It was the same, right? Now this is where I stumbled, and I started to give up on actually digging in and trying to figure out what these strategies were and how good they were. Like, there is money in here, apparently, right? But when I went to the Discord, which, you can click at the bottom here, Discord, Telegram. Actually, I went to the Telegram first, and I wrote into the Telegram this sentence. Something like this. I said, admin, please help me. I had some questions. Oh, here. I think I wrote this one. Is there any admin around or someone who knows the protocol? I've decided to make a YFII for my next video review. And as soon as I posted that, I was banned from the Telegram channel for apparently spamming them. So then I came over to the Discord and I wrote this out. And there's quite a few questions in here. Legitimate, proper questions. Like, where is the staking of the WITT? And is it still at work abandoned? Because I went through this and I was like, oh, you know what? I should be able to stake this LP somewhere. Where can I stake it? And these are legitimate, well thought out questions. And I waited and I waited. And you can see I did this on 11/7. And then later on that day, someone just says, Value DeFi. Go check out Value DeFi. And I have checked them out. If you can see, I've spent some time in there looking at them as well, which is another fork of Yearn, but they have actually changed quite drastically and have continued to innovate. And then I got a few, an obvious couple, like, pump it up, go, go, go. They got the bag holders, and then some Chinese finance company advertisement, join this, my Telegram, and down, more people talking, but nobody even thinking about addressing my questions. And then this is the general too, and then like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 spam ads for Trust Wallet. Like, these are the things that kind of blow you away. So this, my point of this is that, like, people are going to tell you that you should buy this token, not this one, this token, or even this token. The people are going to say buy it. People are going to say buy it because maybe they have bags and they want it to go back to 2K so they can sell the bags onto you. Or maybe they really believe in this product. I don't know. And I can't say that it's a scam because it's still going. It's still here. It still seems to be running if these numbers are, in fact, computing, right? It still seems to be going. And it doesn't need people. It's code. It just needs to do what it needs to do. As long as you put money in it, it should do what it's supposed to do, as long as the code is solid and the code doesn't get broken, and that the sources or the locations where the destinations are still solid and the same. It will function. So people don't actually have to run it. They can just leave it. So I do think that it probably is not a scam in the sense that there's probably nobody there waiting to pull the rug and destroy the product, because they put a lot of time in it. I just think that whoever put all this time in it is now gone. Like, nobody answered my questions, and there's just a bunch of people just talking garbage in here. Like even this guy, he's got the logo, but he's not answering my questions, and he's not answering, like, they're not providing any solid answers whatsoever. So my point is, don't look at the token, okay? You can look at the token, you can see the token price, but then go into the website, check out the products, go into the community, check out the community, ask some good questions, and see what kind of answers you get. If you get answers like this, then maybe you should move on to the next thing. So that's pretty much it for YFII, or DFI.Money. You know, do what you want to do, but I'm not going to put a single penny into this protocol. Thanks for watching, and goodbye. If you made it this far through the video, you're awesome. Thanks for watching. Now, if you want, you'll notice that you could always subscribe to my channel. If you may have noticed that my thumbnails have changed. Now, this is because I got a new microphone and it's improved my audio quite a bit. I hope you guys have noticed. All of these old videos, if you see the brownish, grayish here, those are my old videos. The sound quality is quite, it's bad. So if you want to watch them, go ahead. But you know, I'm going to try to remake some of them, maybe not. But sometimes I'll link to these, and if you go to the links, then I apologize for the sound quality. Now, if you would like to support the channel, you can, you know, subscribe, you can like, you can comment below. You can come and check out my Twitter. I only ever tweet about cryptocurrency related topics, so you feel free to join me there. Link in the description. The final way you can help me is you can head over to Rarible and pick up a NTF if you like. You know, I try to make them cheap. I'm going to try to make some new ones as well. These don't seem to be too popular. But if you feel like throwing me a few bucks, you know, grab an NTF. Get an NTF out of the deal. So these are all of the links are in the description for these places. So feel free to check them out. And thank you again. Goodbye.